Hey guys, EC Network here, coming at you with another video. So earlier in the year, WarnerMedia and Discovery merged together to form the newly founded Warner Brothers Discovery, and obviously things haven't exactly been going great since then. Obviously, I would say the worst point was in August, where a lot of shows were getting canceled, a lot of shows were being sold off, taken off of HBO Max, and I wanted to discuss today, why exactly did Warner Brothers Discovery happen? Why did Discovery by WarnerMedia? Because we could honestly sit here and argue that things were better a year ago when it was under the AT&T umbrella and it was still being called WarnerMedia. So what exactly was the logic behind this merger? And that's a question that honestly is a bit of a head scratcher, because when you look at a merger, right, when any company merges with another, when they form a new company, the goal is to make things better, right? To make things great, to make it better than it was before when these two companies were on their own. And if you look at Warner Brothers Discovery, what happened when they merged? Well, they took on $55 billion worth of debt, and they're kind of just sitting here now trying to get out of that debt. And if we look at, the shows that are being greenlit, the shows that are being announced for multiple facets of the company, but specifically in this case, let's talk about Cartoon Network, there's nothing really happening. There's nothing really exciting going on. There's no news. Everything's quiet. It seems like the more things that have changed, the more that stayed the same. Beforehand with AT&T, we weren't getting the amount of shows on the Cartoon Network side of things that we were on, other aspects of the WarnerMedia umbrella, like DC. DC's obviously getting a lot of movies. We could sit here and argue on the quality of those movies, but they were still getting things, produced nonetheless. But when you look at Cartoon Network, it's kind of just sitting there and kind of just rotting away. We don't have many shows on the channel. We haven't for years now, and things, changed over at Warner Brothers Discovery, but at the same time, things stayed the same for Cartoon Network. So what was the logic behind this merger? Because like I said, you're trying to make things better, not worse. And from the outside looking in, it seems like things have been getting worse and worse since Warner Brothers Discovery happened, since this merger went through. And I remember when, the rumors were first swirling that, oh yeah, we're going to have another merger with Warner Brothers and Discovery. I was like, okay, hopefully things get better, because in all honesty, I wasn't too happy with the job AT&T was doing with WarnerMedia. Once AT&T got Warner Brothers, I was like, oh, that should be interesting. Hopefully, things get better. They were saying how, oh yeah, we're going to make this really great media company in WarnerMedia. We're going to turn Warner Brothers around and make it even better than it was before. And I was like, okay, that sounds promising. Let's see where it goes. And it didn't really go anywhere good. I would argue WarnerMedia wasn't great. I mean, they did do some good things, right? But overall, if you take a step back and look at the full picture, especially when you look at Cartoon Network, it wasn't the greatest of things. So I was like, okay, you know what? Warner Brothers Discovery, let's see how you handle things. Let's see what you do to make Cartoon Network great again, and to, just make the company great again in general. Try to make some great content. And so far, I know it hasn't even been a full year yet, but things are getting worse. And I'm just wondering, where do we go from here with this company? Because you're $55 billion in debt. You canceled a lot of programs to try to, lessen your debt, get some tax write-offs to gain some more capital, some more money to your company. But then where do you go from here? You've kind of created a reputation around the industry that's going to make no one want to come work for you. There was a quote, I forgot who said this, but around the time when Infinity Train and the 35 other shows were removed from HBO Max, someone came out who worked in the industry and said that, hey, if I'm a creator and I'm looking for a company to pick up my show, there is no chance after all this happened that I would go to Warner Brothers, because look at what's happening to all their shows now and how they're treating those creators. And I 100% agree with that. Why would you want to go to Warner Brothers? Why wouldn't you want to go to Disney or Nickelodeon instead if you're coming out with a new cartoon? Look at how Warner Brothers treated their shows. So again, I don't really see the logic behind this merger, because things have gotten worse, and in all honesty, I don't really see them getting much better. Like, yeah, it can't get any worse, I would say, than it is now. Fingers crossed, hopefully not. But like I said before, I feel like they've done so much damage to the Warner Brothers Discovery brand, to all of these properties, all the creators that worked at the company. They're not going to be able to recover from this. I really do wonder where we go from here. Of course, there are the rumors that Comcast Comcast wants to buy out Warner Brothers Discovery in early 2024. That's a bit of a ways away, so obviously we'll have to wait and see on that one if anything comes of that. But if that really happens and we're going through yet another merger, it kind of seems to me like this company is just going in a downward spiral and things aren't going to get better. Of course, when Comcast comes in and, hypothetically speaking, buys Warner Brothers Discovery, things could get much better. But I feel like if this company keeps changing hands, the direction is going to keep changing and we're not going to get anywhere. This would be the third change in ownership over the past decade, and that's a lot. You never really see that for a big company like Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is a huge media brand, and ever since it was purchased by AT&T, it's gone downhill. And then when Warner Brothers Discovery came into play, it kind of just fell off a cliff. And so again, it brings me back to the question of why did this merger happen? Why did Discovery say, okay, yeah, we're going to buy Warner Brothers, WarnerMedia, we're going to make it great, and they've done the opposite so far. And like I said, the amount of debt that they're in, I don't see how they come out of this. I don't see how they come out and they bring Warner Brothers back to its glory days and make it great again. I feel like, in all honesty, it's probably going to end up being another sale. We're probably going to see Comcast come in or somebody else and buy Warner Brothers Discovery, and then it's like, okay, we're starting from square one again. We need a company to come in here, or an executive or whomever, to treat these properties with love again, to treat these, there's so many great properties in the Warner Brothers Discovery umbrella, let alone not even mentioning the Cartoon Network stuff. I mean, Cartoon Network has a huge library in it of itself, and they're not really treating it well. They're not doing anything with majority of these properties, so it's like, okay, well, what are you guys here for? What are you trying to do with this company? You're trying to make great content, but you're forgetting about a lot of the properties that you own. So again, it just brings me back to, why did this merger ever happen in the first place? And fingers crossed things move forward from here in a positive direction, because I love Warner Brothers. I love a lot of the properties that they have, but like I said, things have been getting worse and worse and worse, and I don't know and don't see how they get better. Like, of course, I want to be optimistic here and say, yes, things will get better, but they are so deep in debt. They've done so much damage to this company. I just wonder, like, how does it get much better from here? How does it get better without somebody else coming in and taking things over to kind of steer the ship in the right direction? I don't know who that person is. I don't know if that ends up being a sale to Comcast. We're gonna have to wait and see, but I would say the next few years of Warner Brothers Discovery is going to be really interesting and something that we have to watch closely to see, does this company actually get out of all the debt that they're in, and does Warner Brothers become a big media brand again? Because right now, if you look at Warner Brothers versus, let's say, Disney, there's no comparison in the quality of the product. I would say Disney is miles ahead of Warner Brothers right now, and honestly, I wouldn't say in the past that was the case. I feel like Warner Brothers was a big brand, and if not better than Disney, at least equal level to Disney's quality. And now we look at them today and they're a shadow of their former self. So hopefully things get better, but it's going to be a long road ahead. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all of this. Why do you think Warner Brothers Discovery happened, that merger? If things got worse, not better, do you think that there is a light at the end of the tunnel? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.